Elements are the content creators for your website, and without them, you definitely don't have a web page, then nor a website. Hi, I'm JP here at Learn Brizy Cloud, and this is the Vid Doc Series where you can learn more about Brizy Cloud. In this video, we're going to look at the basics of the elements, what they have in common, and how to work with them. I'm in the back end of the builder, and as I hover with my cursor over the content on this page, you will see that I have a blue bounding box, and over certain other areas, I have these little dotted lines that make a bounding box around those. Those are elements, and they are the content creators on the page. And this can include things like this icon, text, images, videos, and maps. A few others have structure in common. For example, this one that you see here with the blue bounding box. This is a column, and they create the layout and the structure of your web page. You also have row, tabs, tables, and accordions. Access elements by going to the sidebar on the left where you see the plus and it says Add Elements, and when you click on it, it will open the Elements panel. All the elements that you can use appear here on the left, but for this one, I'll quickly jump also into Brizy Cloud Free. As you scroll to the bottom in Brizy Cloud Free, you will note that some of them have a little pink dot. This indicates that this element is only available in the Pro version. If you want to use it, you have to upgrade to the Pro plan. Click outside to close the panel, and let's scroll down on the page to bring in a new block so you can see how you can bring in elements from fresh. From the block, you can also click the plus in the middle, which will also open the Elements panel, giving you the option to bring in elements. To add an element to your page, go to the element you want to add, like text in this example, hover over it, and you will also observe a little tooltip appear at the top telling you what the nature of this element is, as well as your cursor changing into this drag handle. Click, hold, and then drag it and bring it onto your page. If it is an empty block like this one, you simply drop it in the middle and you will see that it brings in a text element with some placeholder text inside. To interact with this text element, click on it, and now you have a context toolbar that appears at the top with settings to control this text element. When you bring in elements to a page that already contains elements like this one, let's go to Add Elements and bring in a button. Hover over the button, click, hold, and drag, and you will note that on this page, suddenly a number of places light up. I have these gray lines, and as I hover over them, they become thick. But I also have a blue line here indicating a column that shows me all the potential places where I can drop this element. If I want to add the button there, I can simply let go, and it will add the button below this form. Having done that, I realize that's not where I want my button. Moving elements is as simple as bringing elements onto the page. Go to the element that you want to move, like this button, and click, hold, and then drag. The moment you begin dragging, it turns into a blue dot. And again, you'll notice that you have these areas on the page that start lighting up, showing you where you can drop it. Let's drop it behind this text element that we had brought in earlier. Click on the button, and we focus on these three in the toolbar. You will note that we have a delete area, a duplicate, and then settings. If you click on the text element above, you'll see that we have the same, and you can scroll to many others like this image, and you'll note again that we have a delete, a duplicate, and settings. These three options in the toolbar remain exactly the same for whichever element you choose, with the rest of the function depending on the kind of element you select. Let's click on the button, select delete, and you've deleted the button. Let's go and click on the text element, select duplicate, and now we have two text elements. We can see that because as we hover over the second one, we have a separate second bounding box that shows us that this is a different element. The settings gives us a pop-up window with two options, one to take us into styling and the other to take us into effects. Clicking either of these will open the options sidebar. At the top, note again the difference between the styling and the effects section. Select styling and we have two options here, basic and advanced. Under basic, we have control over the padding, which is the space inside the elements, margins to move the elements around on the page, in some cases a blending mode, and then also position. Advanced gives us control over the responsiveness view of this element on the desktop display, as well as setting the Z index. And for those who have CSS backgrounds, this is where you'll add these. Going over to effects, this is where you can add entrance animation to your element, as well as scroll animation. The scroll animation is a pro feature only. Another way to interact with an element is right-click. Click outside on the page to close everything, and let's scroll down a little bit. Hover over the element you want to interact with and right-click. This will open the toolbar at the top, as well as give you a few other options like copy, duplicate, and delete. I prefer this delete. It's very quick, just one click and then select delete. For container elements like columns, you will access those settings by going to the column top right-hand corner where you see the up arrow key and select that, and again you have the same settings toolbar. Some other container elements like rows and icon box will also have a bounding box where you will have to access it by clicking on the up arrow icon. Now you know how to bring elements onto your page, how to get into their settings, how to move them around, delete them, and duplicate them. A few more features. Let's go to the sidebar on the left and open the panel by clicking on Add Elements. If you have an element in mind that you cannot find quickly, up here you have a search bar where you can find them quickly. For example, if I look for a map, I simply type in map and I've got the map. Let's say I want to add a contact form. I type in form and there I get my form. Or you want a video. Very simple to find it. If you feel that it becomes a little bit too crowded here and there are some of these elements that you don't use, you can edit what is displayed here in the Elements panel. Go to Edit at the top, and now you have the option to deselect them. If we select the row, column, and title and post, for example, and you click Done, you will see they have been removed. And if you want to bring them back, go to Edit and simply select them again and click on Done, and they are back. The last part to note about the elements is that they are responsive for designs like tablet and for mobile. If I click here on this text element and I go to responsive viewing, I select from the left sidebar mobile view and then select tablet. And now when I click on that text element, you will see we have a much reduced toolbar here with options. What Brizy does is it only gives you those options for the element that can be changed for tablet and for mobile. This is really helpful because it declutters the interface and gives you only those things that you really can change for tablets and mobile. You cannot change content here. If I click on this icon, there is no place for me to change the icon. The content changes are only made on the desktop. Also, on tablet, you cannot move items around like you can on the desktop display. The tablet and mobile is only to make styling changes, not content changes. One more feature about the elements in the responsive display is that you can also hide or unhide them here. If I select this image and I want to remove it from the tablet display, you will notice that in the options toolbar at the top, we now have this little eye icon that appears on the far left. If I select it, the image disappears. It is hidden and it will not display on tablets, but it will still display on desktop and mobile devices. If you want to bring it back and you cannot find it, let's click outside and you don't know where you placed it. Go to the page toolbar at the bottom right-hand corner and you will see on the far left. This allows you to show the hidden elements. Activate it and you will see that image comes back but is blurred. The blur shows you that you've actually hidden it, but at least now it's like a placeholder and you know where it is. Select it and you can bring it back. That's the basics of elements within the Brizy Cloud Builder. Hope this video was helpful. Please like and subscribe, and also check out the links in the description below to Brizy Cloud itself and also the other channels that are breakout channels from websites for beginners.